Hello and welcome. I'm going to create a video for our Windows 2012 R2 course, and I'll go step by step and explain as well what I'm doing and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So Windows 2012 R2 is having a lot of features. Some have very complicated scenarios, and to understand all those roles and features, we should have a very good lab created where we can test all those features, roles and features. So in order to do that, we must have a very good home lab, a lab created inside VMware Workstation. As you can see that I have VMware Workstation 11 here, and so I'm going to be creating all those step-by-step labs, and I'll be talking about some of the concepts, but I'm going to be specifically concentrating more on step-by-step labs. So in order to have a good lab, we need to have a basic network created, and for that I plan to have one Windows 2012 R2 installed. The plan is that I'm going to install a new Windows Server 2012 R2. Then I'm going to make lots of configuration changes in that operating system after it has been installed. So the purpose of installing the first machine, first Windows 2012 R2, will be that it should be configured according to our lab, and it will be only used to clone other machines. It will not be taking part in any of our step-by-step labs. So in that case, if we have a configured virtual machine from which we make clones, then it will be very easy for us to start a new lab quickly. And so I'm going to start without doing any configuration. So as I was saying, to start configuring a lab quickly without doing any configurations, right? So I'm going to start creating this template machine. I'm just calling it template machine because we're not going to use it for step-by-step labs. We're going to be just using it to make clones, and we're going to configure it like a template. In order to do that, on VMware Workstation 11 or 10 or 9, whichever you have, you just have to go to create new virtual machine, right? Well, it will be asking for typical or custom, so I'm just going typical. And installer disk image, I need to give a path for that. I have lots of ISOs here. So I'm just choosing the Windows Server 2012 R2. So I'm choosing it and clicking open. So if you have that ISO installed, you can just give a path for that. If you do not have an ISO installed, just go to Microsoft.com, or you can just Google, just type in Google Windows Server 2012 R2 ISO and space download, and you're gonna go straight to that link and just download the ISO, place it in your hard disk, and that's how we're just accessing that ISO. Click open. It is detecting Windows Server 2012 R2 detected, saying that, right? Okay, next. I have a location here and I have a virtual machine name. I will name it properly, so I'm just going to, we should know that what is it. It's a template machine, So I'm just going to name it like that. It's going to create a folder with this name, right? My C drive is SATA and my D drive is SSD. So I'm just going to change my drive ladder, and it's going to be installed on my SSD, which will give me very good performance. Next. This is thin provisioning going on, which means that whatever we install, this virtual machine will only occupy that much space. So if I choose here 100 GB, it's not going to at once occupy 100 GB of area in our physical hard disk on our laptop or desktop. It's just going to still start with whatever is installed, and what we're going to install is Windows Server 2012 R2. So it's going to be still going to take just 6 or 7 GB, but not more than that. So, but it's going to maximum reach this size, right? So I'm just putting it 100 GB because it's thin provisioning, so it's okay. Store virtual disk as a single file or split virtual disk into multiple files. So I'm gonna just stick to the default, and it's usage that it's portable. It's gonna help me copy the files easily. What happens is that if I choose the single file, so when we install the machine and then we do all the labs and install other software on it, its size increases day by day, lab by lab, and that's what makes then the file, that single file becomes so huge, like 40, 50, 60 GB, and then it's very difficult to copy that one single file over the network. So if we split virtual disk into multiple files, then it creates 2 gigs files, 2 GB files, as it increases it in size. So if we want to move this machine somewhere else, it's going to be very easy to move 2 GB files, right, instead of one huge file over the network or on USB, whatever. So for portability, I'm just sticking to the default split virtual disk into multiple files. Next, we're going to customize this hardware. So I'm just going to go for memory 2 GB. I have 24 GB on my laptop, so I can choose to have 4 gigs instead of 2, but you should wisely use this option. If you have 12 GB, maybe 8 GB, then 2 GB is good for you. Do not just follow this if you have less memory. I have 24 GB in my laptop, so I'm just giving 4 GB here. But 2 GB is also enough, and it's good. So go ahead and you can have just 2 GB, which is also okay. Processor, I'll just keep it to 1 processor. Not much processor intensive work we're going to do. CD-ROM, yes, we have a CD-ROM, no problemo. Network adapter, so we're not going to use NAT. So there are 5 types here. Bridged is, it's going to connect our virtual machine to our outside physical network, and it will, if we choose this replicate, it's going to keep our machine synced or replicated or updated with the current physical network. So we don't want that. NAT is network address translation. It's going to if we want to have instant internet, we can just choose this NAT option. Basically, we know that NAT is used for public IP translating to private IP. Here we're not going to use that, so we're going to just use host only, which means a private network shared with the host. So our host is our in my case, this is the laptop. I'm here installing this whole configuration. So I'm going to just use this because the virtual machines will communicate with each other as well as with the host or the Windows 7 of my laptop, on which this VMware is installed and inside which we are installing this virtual machine. So host only. If it was custom, I would just go for any network. They work like VLAN. So if I select VMnet 3, and if I have 4 or 5 machines, and all the virtual machines will, if I select VMnet 3, then I add 2 more machines, but for those 2 machines I select VMnet 10, suppose. So VMnet 10 machines will not be able to ping or communicate with VMnet 3 machines. So it's just creating a separate network, right? LAN segment is about you can have a bunch of machines starting together, and it would just create its own specific LAN, but we're gonna go for custom. In LAN segment we can communicate, but in custom we cannot, right? I'll just, in fact, first I said I will go for host only, but in fact I'll just go for choosing VMnet 12, and I'll put all my virtual machines, and I'll make sure that every virtual machine is connecting on VMnet 12. Otherwise I can just go for host only, and whatever machines I keep on putting here in my VMware will all be able to communicate with each other. But here, whichever machines have this VMnet 12 will only be communicating with each other. So custom VMnet 12, that's what I chose. USB controller is okay, sound card is okay. Actually, let's just remove that. So I'm removing the sound card. Printer is okay, display, of course we need display. Close, and that's the changes we made. Click finish, and it is starting automatically. So it's gonna take its time, and till then I'm just gonna pause the video. If there are any changes to be made, I'm going to resume the video. And okay, well, there's some changes coming here. So English, yeah, language is okay, everything is okay here. Just press next. Install now, and now it has started to install. Let's see. Okay, well, there's still some more options are there. So I'm going to just go for Windows Server 2012 R2 Datacenter, not the standard edition, but the Datacenter edition, which has more features, and it is used for medium to large size organizations, mostly large size, to support huge amount of connections and users. And also I'm going to use the graphical mode, not the server core mode. So server core is just command prompt based, so I'm just going to use server with a GUI mode. Select next, accept the agreement, next. Since there was no previous operating system we're upgrading to, so no chance of selecting this upgrade option. We're going to go for custom, which is new install actually. And we're not going to make any deletion or partitions, so we're just going to let the Windows do that. So we're just going to click next, and there you go. Now it has started the installation, and it's going to install features, dates, finishing. For now it's copying the file, so that's where I was just saying that I'm going to let it install. Let's wait for that, and I'll pause here until it is done. And we are back. The installation is done, and now I'm just giving the password, which usually is our class password. and finish. Yikes. Try to be careful about that. And oh, whoa, it can't be the second time the same, right? Okay, now I'm going to really be careful. Remove. And I guess. Phew. Alright, let's go ahead and okay, not again. So the default administrator account, from that I logged in, and so this is Windows 2012 R2. This is the dashboard as it's written here, and there are the add roles and features that we can install. Add other servers to manage. We can add more servers here, remote servers, and remotely manage them all. Create a server group. We can create a group of servers here, and then there are roles and server groups here. Roles, server groups, server total. There's only just one server showing here, and file and storage manageability, and its green line here means that everything is running normal. Then local server, events, services, performance, best practice analyzer, BPA results, and all servers if there were more than one. Same for are written here as well. So now we're going to configure quickly this machine so that it could be considered as a template and shut down with sysprep at the end, and never to be started again, and it will be only used for cloning the machines out of that. So let's start configuring stuff here. First of all, I'll try to go and check if VMware tools are installed, because it's a virtual machine and VMware tools are a must. As we can see here that install VM tools is written. This means VMware tools were not installed here on this machine. So I'm just gonna click that, and yeah, it says that your CD-ROM would have that. Oh, there's that icon popped here up again, but I'm just gonna go to Windows Explorer, and there it is inside this PC, in all the drives. This is the CD DVD-ROM here, and actually the VM tools are mounted here. I'll just simply double click it, and the installation of VMware tools is installed. VMware tools are required for better performance of virtual machine, better performance of mouse and display, and many other features. So it's always recommended to install VMware tools after the installation of any operating system, Windows or Linux. Okay, next, and then I clicked complete, next, and install. So I will have to just install it once on this template machine, and that would be the benefit that when I clone this machine, VMware tools will always be installed. We don't have to go through all this process, and at the end of VMware tool solutions, it always asks to restart, and it's always a good idea to do that. So I'm just going to press yes and restart. After that, just for the specifically for our labs, I'm gonna turn off firewall, so you know all the clones out of this machine will have firewall, or should have firewall turned off. Okay, it restarted. It's loading the server manager and the dashboard. So VMware tools are installed. I'll just go up and check again. Yeah, reinstall means they're already installed. Now second thing is I'll check the firewall. So for that I'm just gonna click local server here, Computer name, no, we don't need to change that because in new clones we're gonna change the names anyway. Workgroup, yeah, it should stay with the workgroup. Firewall public on, so I'm just gonna click that here, and then later I'm gonna click here, turn Windows Firewall on or off, and turn off the firewall like this. Press OK. Close that, and it still shows firewall is on, but if I press F5, which I just did now, you see it's refreshing, and now it shows that firewall is off. So we can, after making changes in the dashboard, we can always refresh the screen by pressing F5, and it's going to show the exact configuration, correct configuration. Remote management is enabled, remote desktop. Yeah, we could remotely access this machine, so I'm just going to enable the remote desktop as well, so that okay, when I click remote desktop, it's all by default to don't allow remote connections. We're going to go for allow, and remote desktop firewall exception will be enabled. Well, anyway, we don't have a firewall on, so press OK. Allow connections only from computers running remote desktop with network level authentication. Well, that's just a bit more security, which is always good. So press apply while these two are checked. Click apply, press OK. So the firewall requirement is done, remote desktop requirement is done. It still shows disabled while we just enabled it, so I'm just going to press F5 again. So now it's showing enabled. Now I need to make sure that this machine is, since I'm not using the key, I haven't purchased a license for that, so I'm just gonna want to enable this machine for 180 days, and for that I have to install Windows updates. It's a good idea to install all the Windows updates in it for all the security reasons and performance, which is a good idea, but for the purpose of the video I'm just gonna install, keep on installing the Windows updates until I see 180 days showing here that Windows has been activated for 180 days. So how do I first get the internet connection to this machine? What I would do is I will add another network card and I'll put that to bridge, or since this machine will be shut down anyway, I can simply keep this network card and I'll just right click the machine settings on top, settings, right click the machine settings, and then I can go to this. Remember, we chose it for custom and then VMnet 12. So temporarily I'm just going to select bridge in order to get internet for this machine, and then I will start installing Windows updates. So it's temporarily. Once the updates are installed and I see that written there 180 days it's activated, so then I'll put it back to custom VMnet 12. So temporarily I'm putting it on bridge just to get internet. I can do it from NAT as well, but I'll just prefer this. Press OK. I have internet in my machine. Now I will go to dashboard, and in fact I'm going to the local server. This whole window is called server manager, by the way. It's written there anyway. So I would like to enable Windows update, right? For that I just need to go a little further here to the right side, and there you go, not configured. So I'm just gonna turn on automatic updates. This process might take a long time. I will be configuring further things in this machine while the updates go in the background, but I would still like to know if the internet is available or not. So I'll go and check my network connection, network card. Network cable unplugged. Oh, that's not a very good sign. And what IP did it get? The sensor is not connected. Let me troubleshoot that and come back. Okay, resuming. So I troubleshooted it, and the problem was here. Let me show you what I changed. So I went to the machine settings, then I went to the network card, and there this was unchecked like this. So normally it's not never unchecked, but somehow it got unchecked. So I just checked it back and pressed OK, and now I have the network card working. And since it's on bridged, so it should be getting an IP from outside. For now, nope. But if I disable and enable it, although it is on the look, it is looking and searching for an IP. If I enable disable it, disable, and then right click, enable, or double click. It's trying to identify and search for internet, and I hope it gets well. I'll just double check on my network card again if it is on bridge. Yep, it is on bridge and replicate physical network. So let's give it some time. I'll minimize that and minimize that as well, and check for updates is yep going on. Minimize that too. We'll visit this option soon. I will make some other changes as well. I will be doing I'll be creating a shared folder. So let me show you this. Right click, settings, and when settings are open, go to options. So this is a shared folder here. Shared folder is very useful if you want to copy something from your host OS operating system, or what we can say as your laptop Windows, and you want to you have the requirement of copying files back and forth from within the virtual machine to the host operating system, and from the host operating system to the virtual machine. So it creates a window, kind of an opening, so you could, from within the machine, you could directly copy paste from the C drive or the any folder or drive of your host machine. So just to show that, so let's just enable that, and this will be only enabled or available if VMware tools are installed, which we just installed, right? So otherwise, if you haven't installed that and go directly to configure this, it will be all grayed out. You won't be able to do anything, right? So shared folders disabled, so I'm just gonna enable it, and I prefer to have it always enabled. Then I would like to have a network drive mapped. So now I'm going to choose a drive. It's going to ask me from my laptop hard disk which folder you want to share and map to this virtual machine. So click add. Next, when I browse, it's going to go inside and it's going to show my laptop hard disk, not the virtual machine hard disk. Yep, there it is, and it's showing me C drive, D drive of my laptop, not my virtual machine. So I can just give any path here, and that's going to and there I can just put any copy any file. So I have created a folder on my desktop, transfer files. I'll just click that and press OK. So this transfer file folder, whenever I want to transfer any file from my physical machine to my virtual machine, I'm just gonna put it inside here, and there will be a network mapped folder showing inside virtual machine. So if I click next and finish, so it's showing the paths. Press OK. Now where is it? So if I go inside this PC, and there it shows shapefile. Double click that, transfer files, double click that, obj file. So this is the file actually present on my desktop. So if I go outside the machine, go to transfer files, this is my desktop and this is the VMware, right? So this is my transfer files in my laptop, and these are my drives in the laptop, and I could just create a folder, new folder, testing shared folder. Click here. Okay, that's created. Now I'm going to go to the virtual machine here and refresh. And now I can see that from inside the virtual machine I have a connection to outside. Whatever file I put there will be shown here, and then from here I can copy that file here, right? So this is a very beneficial feature, the shared folder. Also, I have my own forum, IT professional courses, and here also I have put all those steps. If you go to those IT professional courses, the main website, then go way down until you see how to prepare your lab, and then here steps to create first template machine, and these are all the steps. So we created it and configured it like that, bridged it, remove sound, yeah, we did that. Installation, we did the Datacenter GUI. For password, install VMware tools, we did that. Then turn off firewall, yeah. We did not change time zone yet. Let's do that. It's on Pacific while I'm in Canada and east of Canada in Toronto, so I'll look for something Eastern. Eastern US Canada would be my time zone. That would do. Alright, so let me check the updates, how it's going, and for that, there's that update window, and it's still updating. If I go and check my desktop, during the updates sometimes it happens that it just shows, sometimes we have to restart, and then it shows that message here that it's activated for 180 days. And one more thing, let me check if I have internet connection. And if I go to CNN.com, I don't think I have internet connection right now. So guys, what happened is that normally with me the bridge connection simply works, but it was not working because the switch I'm connected to with the cable right now has no DHCP enabled. But anyway, I just changed it from bridge to NAT, and voila, it once got my internet. Normally I like to bridge. but since internet is right away available, you guys also just save your time and just go for the NAT option and just connect internet, because we need to later put it back to custom, right? So updates are going on, and yeah, so I'm just gonna open the site again, and I change the time zone, I enable the remote desktop, turn on Windows updates. Yes, it's on enable shared folder. I adjusted that. Once all updates are installed and the computer restarted, then turn the network card back to host only or the custom, which I have already, right? Also, in order to avoid our administrator account being logged out in few seconds, we have to unlock so many. Oh yeah, this is another tip for, you know, in 2012 R2 administrator account just logs out if we are not there for very less time, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. It just goes logs out, and this tip does not work. Maybe you can try it, it might work. So I'm just waiting for the Windows update to be fully installed. Well, as long as I get to see that activation of 180 days, I'll keep the updates running, and later we're gonna just do this sysprep and choose those options and shut down, and our template will be ready. So I'll just go back and check what's going on with my machine there, and updates are being installed right now, so I'll kind of pause it here and wait for the message to come here. Okay guys, so as you can see, Windows Winter R2 Datacenter evaluation, Windows license valid for 180 days. Message has appeared. What I did was I just waited for the Windows update to keep on downloading stuff, and I did not wait a lot there. It just kept on moving, and in 4 or 5 minutes I just went to this Windows icon here, clicked that, and then clicked administrator and sign out. And when I signed in back, the initial files were installed from the update after confirming that my internet connection is okay, and I just gave it 4 to 5 minutes, and then I signed out and signed in, and the message was coming that it is activated. So few initial files are always required to have 180 days activation for R2 Datacenter, and our template is ready, I guess. So we're gonna just go for this final step of putting our machine to sleep. We're gonna shut it down, but before that, remember, put your network card back to the setting that you would like it to be for all the machines to be in this custom VMNet 12. You can just use any VMNet, but for these labs I'm just choosing VMNet 12, and our 2012 lab would be all having this VMNet 12 configured, right? Okay, so I would now I'll just enter into full screen mode, just to have a bigger screen. And now I pressed Windows and R, and I'm typing sysprep and press OK. There's a sysprep file here. Double click that. There is that enter system out of box experience, OOBE, and then there is that enter system audit mode. OOBE is like you have gone to the the IT store and purchase a totally new window. So any new clone installed will have a new SID, security identification, and all many other features in the areas in the windows are also made unique by this process. So we're just going to select this OOBE, so every clone should be unique, new clone, and not a copy of the shutdown Windows template. So click generalize. That's going to make it a common new Windows with all the common options available. And definitely we're not rebooting that, we're going to be shutting down. And in case you accidentally start this again, then it's better to, when it fully starts and you've logged in, just go back to this sysprep procedure and go to these settings back and shut it down again if accidentally ever you start. Don't shut down from normal procedure like this. Do not do that for a template machine, because then whatever clones you've created will not be unique and the SIDs will be the same. You have to shut it down with these options if you want the clones to be unique machines, having nothing in common with the machine that is shut down, right? So let's press OK here, and when it shuts down, this will be our template machine ready to be cloned. It doesn't take that much time. Make sure all the settings are done. Always run sysprep in the end and before running sysprep, especially since we tried to activate this window, so we had changed our network settings. Make sure you change the network settings before this machine shuts down, because you're not supposed to start that again. So all the conversions must be perfect, right? Okay, shutting down, and now our template machine is ready. That's good. So this is it, and I'll just go to the previous view, and if I now want to have clones from this machine, I'll simply go to that machine, right click. Since it's shut down, I can make a clone now, manage and clone. So this is how we can make clones. For now, this is it. In the next video, we're gonna create clones, and then we're gonna create our basic domain, Windows domain, replica DCs, and all the other stuff. There's a lot to come. So please let me know if you like this video, or what would you like more in this. Okay, so see you next time in next video. Bye bye.